Hi guys, and welcome to yet another video. So in this video I just want to briefly touch on a little bit about how I'm getting on in terms of my 90-day goals, and just briefly touch on, in my last video I spoke about frustration, and about frustration what I mentioned mindset and the mindset shift. So I'm just going to briefly touch on that, and I mean it is hard to kind of explain and to get the thoughts out of my head and out there, but I'm going to try my best. Now, in terms of my 90-day goals, I've just completed the first month. Now the first month has been, I've done okay, considering I've been working as well. I've managed to do so. The idea is to cover the pre-algebra sections, Khan Academy, and I've done 13 units out of the 15, and most of those I've done on my days off. So I'm proud of that. So I've done 13. I've picked up on my weak ones, so I'm going to start reviewing those, and I feel good about it. I feel like I'm on track. But the biggest, what I've been most proud of over the last month has been my mind shift change. And in that last video, like I was saying, I mentioned frustration and how I've managed to overcome that. Now, I've used a number of techniques. I've taken a completely objective view of it as best as I can, and I've turned it into a mini science project. I've got a research background, so what I've done is, when I sit down to study, when I finish to study, I make a judgment on my frustration level, and I can sort of see, it allows me then to see and measure my levels of frustration, and that's massively helped. It's made me, instead of being immersed into this experience and into a set of circumstances, it's allowed me to sort of detach myself and be that guy on the fence and looking at what's going on. And on that note, when I mention and when I talk about mindset shift, when I sat down last week or the week before thinking about what's going on here, one of the first things I done is, and I mentioned journaling last time, and journaling allows you to do this. I mean, they call it reflection. It's called a reflection for a reason, because you can see yourself. You see, like I see myself. I'm not going to use that figurative you. I'm talking about myself. So I'm going to try to stick to I, not you. So so I've lost my train of thought there, but just bear with me. So what was I saying? I was talking about reflection, and I mentioned journaling last time. So by journaling, it's allowed me to see myself. Journaling, what journaling does, it allows you to detach yourself from yourself, and the reflection comes in the writing. You're reflected, I'm reflected in that writing, and I can see myself. So when I looked into my frustration, what I did was, what is it? How do I feel when I sit down to study? And it was this journey that I went on. I mean, I could go on for hours here, so I'm going to try to keep it brief. So I thought about my feelings. What do I feel when I sit down to study? What's that relationship? What's my relation? What am I feeling? And that's what allowed me to then think about and explore this idea that maybe, yes, I've got myself these goals. So consciously, if you ask me, Nakib, have you got goals? Are you working towards goals? I would say yes. But where the disconnect was, I believe, when I think about this, where the disconnect was that I don't feel like I really fully immersed myself in those goals. I don't really fully believe that I had that self-belief in those goals, if that makes sense. I feel like, yes, I had the goals, but I hadn't really thought about what those goals mean to me. They were just goals. And then through the reflection, I was able to sort of just explore what was going on in my head, and it was just that exploration that I realised that the goals I'd set myself, and maybe where the frustration's coming from, is the fact that I'm not seeing immediate results. And it's very easy to fall into that trap, I think. And I fell into it, and it was just a case of where you're in there and you don't even realise it. I never realised it, where I'm in that situation, I'm in that set of circumstances where I'm actually impatient. I'm not getting the results that I want, and I've got these goals, and maybe that's where the frustration comes in, because I'm feeling stuck on a psychological level, and that's what journaling allows you to kind of get into your mind and explore what's going on, and it's allowed me to see that. It's allowed me to see that, and that's what's caused that mind shift. So my mind shift's gone from, yes, having these goals but not really believing in them, and then this sense of impatience and not seeing immediate results, and just sort of changing that frame of mind, that frame of reference, has been that massive shift between being frustrated and being out of it. So that's what I mean there. And also, before I sit down, not only am I measuring my frustration levels, but I'm also reminding myself of how I'm not stuck, how it's, what I've achieved, what my plans are, what my goals are, and how it's impossible for me to even be stuck. So it just reminds me. It's almost like an affirmation kind of thing, but it's just there. It reminds me, and it absolutely helps. Absolutely helps. And on that note, I'm going to end it. Until next time, take care and see you again.